of agency-specific opportunities, we thought to ourselves, well, how do we break this down? Because a ton of agencies did a presentation yesterday on all the different agencies here at the Blacksburg, what do they call it?
Game Changer Week.
Yeah, Game Changer Week here in Blacksburg. It was put on by the Roanoke Blacksburg Technology Council, and went through a lot of different agencies, but that was specifically associated with SBIR. But we went through all these agencies here looking for non-SBIR. But we do want opportunities that are research and development, not people buying carpet or buying toilet paper. We're looking for stuff that has research and development in it. So we thought, well, let's prioritize by the people that have the most money. I mean, that makes the most sense to us. So we did that and highlight specific opportunities within these specific agencies. Several of these opportunities that are listed, we've actually got firsthand experience with. Some of them we discovered last week, so they span the spectrum. This is pretty interesting. DIU just recently discovered this actually. DIU has an open solicitation. I mean, right now, that blue box I put in there, just recently. It is available right now. They claim that they can get you from submission to award in between 60 and 90 days. So that's nice. So there's one that you can go and click on the open solicitations. Now, when I clicked on those, I did find that they are rather specific. So you're gonna have to go find, does my technology fit? But nevertheless, I would encourage you to go look at that. And then NSIC was one that was kind of new to me as well. In that one, you can submit a project pitch anytime. Sounds like NSF, doesn't it? They want you to have at least TRL 3, but they don't want it to be on the shelf at Walmart. So they want it somewhere in that 3+ range of TRL. They work through an OTA contract vehicle, which in general is a lot less time and effort than it is to go through a far regulated procurement vehicle. So there are opportunities, plenty of opportunities there because it's wide open. You can submit a pitch at any time, and the pitch is very minor. It's not going to take a lot of work. You can throw it over a wall, see what happens, and get an opportunity potentially to go at some pretty good sized money. I mean, I was talking to some people at the event just this past week who were aiming at $3 or $4 million worth of R&D work through NSIC. And then there's also NSIN, which sounds awful familiar, but they don't seem to be connected. And they have a bunch of different opportunities, many of which are, interestingly enough, geared towards federal people, or a federal person who has some innovation to be able to spread their innovation to another federal agency. But they have one section called Propel, which is really from companies. And they said they really focus on talented companies from economically challenged areas. So if you're in Southwest Virginia, you've got an in right there, right? But then they also have another Propel 2022, which is focused on the Mid-Atlantic region's innovation community. I thought that was kind of interesting. So there's a couple of links there that you can go dig in and find some non-SBIR funding available to innovators. That's through DoD. Other DoD opportunities are at ONR, for example, the Office of Naval Research. If you go through the Work With Us thing there and learn more about that, you'll be able to find open BAAs. There are more. I listed 3 there, but there are a lot in there that you can go download, search, see, does my technology have a home there? And we're specifically thinking about you and the technologies you may have developed under an SBIR project that you may have developed using internal research and development funds. But however you did it, you've got some technology sitting on the shelf that is either ready to be sold at a TRL 6 or greater, or it's not. But in either case, you can go look at these BAAs and see if you can find a home for that, make a phone call, and start going after money that is not going to be all tangled up in the SBIR, STTR reauthorization. Naval Research Lab, same thing. There's a link there to go work with NRL, and you'll be able to do the same thing there. So I would encourage you to look at those, especially if you've got things that would fit potentially with the Navy. The Army Corps of Engineers, USACE, has an Earthworks Tech Challenge. Now, a lot of these are closed, and so you'd have to watch for these popping open at the end of the fiscal year. But nevertheless, a lot of them are prize money, but some of them are OTA. They have 2 OTA contract vehicles they use. There's civil engineering, physical protection, base modernization, the commercial service offerings, prototype opportunities. There's a lot of stuff in there that you can go dig around. And yes, even though these challenges are closed, I would encourage you, if you think there might be something there for you, go look at what they previously funded, because they're likely to fund it again, right? So I would encourage you with that. DARPA has open BAA all the time, and there's a little green arrow down there, means that's something that we've worked with. And a couple slides I missed that on, but nevertheless, we did work on this one, and we'll identify the ones we've worked on before. We helped a small business here in Virginia actually bid to a BAA. We worked with them as a subcontractor in the program management area to help them negotiate the contract and help them manage the job all the way through completion and 2 successful demonstrations. But this really requires understanding DARPA technology transition office is one we worked with. But to work with that DARPA PM, the DARPA PMs are on the website. You can go find them and you can email them. And that's what happened here. We emailed the DARPA PM. We actually had someone who knew the PM, and that was very helpful, and got us in the door, talked to them, got them interested. They said, hey, that sounds really good. I think this BAA would be a contract vehicle for you to come in on. And so it took a long time, honestly, 6 to 9 months, but we submitted the BAA. We worked it out, and we got on contract, and we were successful. And now, as a matter of fact, they have a technology transition office that has spent some time helping us transition this technology into phase 3. So DARPA has a number of different opportunities there, seedlings and programs that are open. So I would encourage you to look there. DARPA is quite interested in high tech that's going to help our warfighter. SOCOM this happens to be the area that we're marketing the work we did with DARPA on at SOCOM, but there's a lot of good opportunities here at SOCOM. I know Bob was down at the SOFIC conference in Tampa here last month, and this is a very active community. There's a lot of procurement going on there. And I just put the bullets in here to talk about the process, starting with a small business office, looking at the capabilities and then the technology areas of interest. And then they've got SBIR, CTR, because this is all off of their website, but we're looking for money that's not there. So you can visit SoftWorks, sign up for the SoftWorks ecosystem, look for upcoming events where you can go and participate in prizes, technical talks, and things like that. And we've done that actually, which I'll go into a little bit later. So there's opportunities there. And you can connect with the SOCOM Science and Technology Office. You can join the Vulcan Technology Exchange System, which is a really good one to get your technology on a card. They call it a Vulcan card that is then viewed by all kinds of people, people within the federal government as well as prime contractors. SoftWorks is another great opportunity to go look at. It's industry labs, academia, government stakeholders, and solving challenging warfighter problems. Once again, non-SBIR money. You can join the SoftWorks ecosystem and you can get notifications of that. One of our clients was just through the notification was in Tampa last Friday, reviewing their technology with a SoftWorks team who were enamored with what this person had to offer and are searching now for contract vehicles to get this technology developed. So these are all opportunities. They're non-SBIR. I keep saying that, but that's what this whole webinar is about. AFWorks. I mean, people have probably heard a lot about AFWorks, right? And seems to be the procurement of the day, right? And let's all go after AFWorks. AFWorks is a pretty complex beast, as it turns out. You can go to AFWorks.com and try to dig through and figure out what's what. I would encourage you, see a little screen down there where it says AFWorks webinar. I did a webinar for the state of Virginia for VIPC, the Virginia Innovative Partnership Corporation, on AFWorks. It was very well attended, like 150 people signed up for the thing. And I went through all these. I went through Adventures, I went through Spark, which, by the way, has nothing to do with contractors. It's all for internal Air Force people, which you got to dig a little bit to figure out. And then Prime and SpaceWorks. I went through all those, identify how you could go apply to each of those. And we actually helped several companies in this last round apply to Air Force Phase 1s through AFWorks. So I would encourage you to look at those. I would encourage you to watch that webinar because I don't mean to pound my chest, but you're going to learn a lot in that webinar. You're going to get the benefit of about 3 or 4 days of soul searching, digging by me to figure out what the heck is all this stuff. And I did all that and I got it laid out, and I think you'll find that to be very helpful. NIH has grants. Once again, you can click down there at the link. We left the link in here for you so that you can find those, and they have different research grants. Some of these require clinical trials, some don't. And I would encourage you, and I'm going to say this several times, if you've got technology that's been developed by the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, or somebody, don't ignore NIH. I mean, you may find opportunities for heavy duty sensors or other types of things that you develop for a military application that can help the NIH and they would be interested in. So even though you may not be a medical person or may not work in the medical industry right now, don't ignore that. Go look at those things and see if there are not some opportunities for you there. The DOE Office of Science has a long-range FOA out, and you can see the research areas of interest right there. This opportunity closes September the 30th, but there will be other FOAs out there. And these are FOAs from the same office that administers the SBIR STTR program, but it's not SBIR STTR money. So I would encourage you to look there. I mean, there's great opportunities for you. Here's the Erie opportunities that come out of energy efficiency and renewable energy. And you can see a whole list there, and that's not all of them. I couldn't get them all on the screen. There's a whole lot. And there are RFIs in there too. And notice of intent to awards are in there as well as FOAs. And they're in the areas, as you can see in the blue down there. So there's lots of opportunities there. I encourage you to go look at Erie at their website and find that. And DOE has some interesting opportunities. A lot of these are prizes, but money is money, right? And some of these are closed. The red dots are closed, but the ones that are not are open. And you can go look at this. Some of them are pretty specific. I don't know what PERCOS, I don't know what that first thing is actually, but nevertheless, there are a lot of opportunities you can get there. And I would encourage you to go look there. There's opportunities for money. And the Solar Energy Technologies Office is especially active right now with the community, the way our world is moving right now. There are people very interested in this. This particular opportunity is closed, but it's going to open again in 2023, probably February. But so why would I put it on this list? Well, because I think the thing for you to do now is to go introduce yourself to the Solar Energy Technologies Office at DOE. I mean, get to know them, find out what conferences they go to, get a relationship built there so that when time comes for this to open again, you are a known entity and that you've learned some things about them and learned what they're interested in, and it gives you an opportunity to quote on work that they would like to have done. ARPA-E is kind of the advanced high risk. It's kind of the DARPA of DOE. And there's a bunch of different opportunity announcements right there. They once again award them in phases. They're multi-million-dollar awards. Yes, some require cost matching, but not all. So there's research and development that is a little bit more high risk and advanced than what you might find on a DOE opportunity. So I encourage you to look at those as well. And there's as you can see, they've got the opportunity to do searching through their programs. They have 73 different programs, of which 44 are active as of now. So that's a lot of opportunity for you to go out and look for places where you can find non-SBIR, STTR funding. NASA actually has some non-SBIR topics listed. You can see there the solicitation that I've got listed, and you can click on the link and it'll take you to that. You can also look at their acquisition forecast. And this is just a very small list. You look at acquisition forecast, it's huge. And you can sort it by NAICS code, you can sort it by date. I mean, you can dig in there and find opportunities for yourself that NASA already has out here forecasted as an acquisition activity, and raise your hand and get in the queue to be able to be considered for that. NSF, as you know, the NSF SBIR STTR program has a lot to do with submitting a project pitch, or calling the program manager, talking to them, submit a project pitch, and then move to a phase 1 and a phase 2. But they have other ways of getting money too. They have a partnership with innovation program. They have a convergence accelerator. They have an office of small and disadvantaged business utilization where you can find out new opportunities there that are not SBIR STTR. So I'd encourage you to look at NSF because there are opportunities there as well. And there's the funding search that they actually just put on their website about 3 days ago. Fortunately, I looked at it before we did this webinar. But it's a brand new way to do funding searches. You can see I did a search for grants in the Director of Engineering for Ocean Sciences, you know, and what you don't see is all the results, which are below that. But you'll be able to see those, and this is a different way of doing business with NSF than the SBIR STTR project pitch and so forth. So consider that. That's a great opportunity for you as well. Department of Agriculture. You know, I imagine most of us that are, you know, Navy and Army and Coast Guard and Air Force, We don't even think about the Department of Agriculture. But the types of technologies that you're developing for Air Force to be used for sensors to look at ground and ground penetrating radars, agriculture is using that. Farming is done at a very high tech right now. And there are a lot of different procurement forecasts there that you can look at to see the types of things that they're looking for, opportunities for fiscal 22. Now, Department of Agriculture in many ways is going to help you develop a technology that you can end up selling to John Deere or somebody, and that's fine. But these are opportunities. Don't think that because you're in a Navy or Air Force program that the technologies you're developing may not have a home in Department of Agriculture. It very well may, because how advanced agricultural technology is today. This is not the farming day of old. Department of Homeland Security, which again, they've got a searchable database of all the opportunities. As you can see, I went in and they've got research areas. I just clicked on that. There are more that didn't show up here, but there's a lot of different research areas that you can go and look for. You can look for the keywords and so forth and find opportunities there for yourself that are not SBIR, STTR. Department of Justice, once again, they have at sam.gov is where they typically list their opportunities. One thing that you might want to do, I know in the sam.gov activity that I showed you, the example, I eliminated anything that had already that was going to be awarded before what next month. But you might want to go look at things that have been awarded between January and September 30th, for example, and start to see, what are these people buying and who might I talk to at DOJ to kind of get in the queue for the next time this comes up. I mean, that's one where we do that often. We encourage that quite often, not just to look forward or to look at what's out there today, but to look backwards a little bit and see if you can start building some relationships, because DOJ would be a great place to get into. EPA is another one. They have opportunities on their website, their Office of Research and Development. You can look at opportunities by NAICS code. You can look at opportunities by dollar range, by target award date, as you can see over there on the left. There are a lot of different ways of looking at EPA opportunities. I think you're starting to see that SBIR, STTR gets kind of mired down for a while. There's a lot of opportunities. And in addition to that, if you're doing SBIR, STTR work, I think we still should be looking at these. I mean, we do this. We look at these opportunities for TAMA work for our SBIR and STTR customers who have phase 1s and phase 2s. We look at these as opportunities to get to phase 3. So I think you should do that as well. Intelligence agencies are a great place. I think this area is really hidden. It doesn't have to be. NRO, NGA, CIA, FBI, Secret Service. These people buy stuff too, and they're interested in research and development, especially NRO. If you go and get on that Westfield's link right there, you will be able to create an unclassified account, which is what I did, and you will be able to then canvas through here and find opportunities, and they will actually email you some opportunities as they come up so that you can go and look at them. You do need to register as a contractor, but this is their interface between business and the intelligence agencies, and it includes most of the intelligence agencies. You don't have to have 4 or 5 accounts. You have 1 and get into all that. So I would really encourage you to do that, because a lot of the technologies you're developing could be very, very interesting to intelligence agencies.